Imagine the roar inside NRG Stadium when a familiar face returns to finish what he started over a decade ago. We are seeing reports that a reunion between the Houston Texans and their former #1 overall pick is becoming a real possibility this offseason. As an insider following every move in this building, I can tell you the energy is shifting. This isn't just a nostalgic trip down memory lane, it's a strategic move to solidify a championship defense. Click that subscribe button now for the latest Texans updates. Clowney is once again at the center of the NFL spotlight as the free agency period takes an unexpected turn for the Houston Texans. According to a recent report from Mike Garafolo of NFL Network, the veteran pass rusher recently changed his representation to Andy Ross and is now seeing significant interest from several of his former teams. This news has sent shockwaves through our fan base because we all remember that day in 2014 when he was selected first overall to be the face of our defense. After a career that has seen him play for 7 different franchises over 12 long seasons, the path seems to be leading him back to where it all began. Our head coach, D'Amico Ryans, is building something special here, and adding a seasoned veteran to the mix could be the final piece of the puzzle. While the report did not explicitly name our team, the fit is almost too perfect to ignore given our current roster situation. Right now, we have an incredible starting duo on the edge with Will Anderson and Daniel Hunter. But football is a game of attrition and depth is everything. Last season, we leaned on veterans like Denico Autry and Derek Barnett to provide that extra spark when the starters needed a breather. However, we did not address the defensive end position during the recent draft, leaving a noticeable gap in our rotation. The front office, led by Nick Caserio, knows that to survive a deep playoff run, they need more than just 2 stars. They need a reliable force who can step in without the defense losing any momentum. This veteran free agent is coming off a surprisingly strong campaign with the Dallas Cowboys, where he proved that his motor is still running high even at 33 years old. He logged over 8 sacks and 12 tackles for loss last year, showing that he can still be a nightmare for opposing quarterbacks when placed in the right system. Bringing him back would allow our coaching staff to create creative packages that could overwhelm offensive lines across the league. It is a situation that makes sense for both the player and the organization as we prepare for a season with massive expectations. The evolution of this powerhouse athlete has been one of the most fascinating stories to follow in professional football. Since he left Houston years ago, he has transformed from a raw prospect with unbelievable physical tools into a savvy technician who understands how to manipulate blockers. He no longer relies solely on pure speed or strength. Instead, he uses his experience to anticipate snaps and blow up running plays before they even start. For a team like ours, having someone with that level of football IQ in the locker room is invaluable. The young guys like Will Anderson can learn so much from a man who has seen every blocking scheme and faced every elite left tackle in the business. His presence would take the pressure off our starters and ensure that the intensity of our pass rush stays at a boiling point for all 4 quarters. Many critics point to his age or his history of moving from team to team, but his recent performance grades tell a different story. Last season was actually one of the best of his entire career, according to the analysts who watch every single snap. He has become a master at setting the edge, which is exactly what our defensive system requires to keep opponents from finding success on the perimeter. If he joins this unit, he won't be asked to carry the entire load like he was back in 2014. Instead, he can thrive in a specialized role, coming off the bench in high-leverage situations to disrupt the rhythm of the game. This creates a terrifying scenario for our rivals in the division who already have to worry about our explosive offense. Imagine a 3rd and long situation where the quarterback looks up and sees 3 elite pass rushers all hunting him at the same time. That is the kind of defensive dominance that wins championships in January. The transition back to our city would be seamless because he already knows the community and the expectations that come with wearing our colors. He is a veteran who doesn't need a learning curve. He can step onto the field and contribute from day one. This move would have a direct impact on how many games we win this upcoming season because it solves our biggest remaining problem. In the NFL, you can never have enough players who know how to get to the quarterback. If our main stars get tired or face a small injury, we need to know the defense won't fall apart. By bringing this familiar face back, we are essentially buying insurance for our season. It makes the job much easier for our secondary because the quarterback won't have time to wait for receivers to get open. Simple outcomes like this are what separate good teams from great ones. We are talking about a guy who can help us secure those tight games that come down to the final drive. Think about how many times a single sack or a forced fumble has changed the course of a season for us. Having a big, strong body in the middle of the action means our linebackers can fly around and make plays without being blocked by offensive linemen. It's about creating a ripple effect that makes every single person on that side of the ball better. We aren't looking for a savior. We are looking for a teammate who can do his job at a high level. If this signing happens, it shows the rest of the league that we are in win-now mode. We aren't waiting for young players to develop or hoping for luck. We are taking control of our destiny by adding proven talent to a roster that is already loaded with potential. This is how you build a culture of excellence. You find guys who have a chip on their shoulder and something to prove, and you give them a platform to succeed. For a veteran at this stage of his career, there is no better platform than a team on the rise with a hungry fan base behind them. It would turn our defensive line into a group that no offensive coordinator wants to prepare for. The consequences of not making a move like this could be felt late in the year, when tired legs start to show. We cannot afford to let this opportunity slip away. We have to look at the two very different paths this situation could take for our beloved franchise. In the best-case scenario, this homecoming is the spark that ignites a historic defensive run. He arrives in training camp in the best shape of his life, motivated to prove that he is still an elite force in this league. He embraces his role as a situational rusher and mentor, providing 10 or 12 crucial sacks throughout the year. The defense becomes the most feared unit in the league, leading us deep into the playoffs and perhaps even to the first Super Bowl appearance in our history. The veteran experience combined with the youthful energy of our stars creates a perfect balance that keeps opponents guessing every week. It becomes a feel-good story that restores the bond between the player and the fans who cheered for him at the start of his journey. But we must also consider the alternative path where things don't go according to plan. If he struggles with the physical toll of a long season or fails to mesh with the new culture, it could become a distraction we don't need. There is always a risk when bringing back a former star that the expectations will be too high to meet. If the production isn't there, the coaching staff might feel obligated to play him over younger talent, which could slow down the development of our future stars. This is the gamble that every front office has to take. Do you trust the proven veteran with a history of production, or do you stand pat and hope your current depth is enough? The tension is real because the window to win in the NFL is notoriously short. We have a young quarterback on a rookie contract and a defense that is ready to dominate right now. Every decision matters. A single mistake in free agency can set a team back, but the right move can propel them to greatness. The stakes couldn't be higher for us as we head into the summer months. We are watching a high-stakes game of chess, and the next move could define the entire 2024 season. To wrap things up, the possibility of Clowney returning to the Houston Texans is the biggest storyline of the week. We have a team that is desperate for defensive depth and a former #1 pick who is coming off one of his most productive seasons in years. The logic is simple, the need is clear, and the emotional connection is undeniable. Our front office is faced with a massive choice that could determine the ceiling for our defense this year. I've seen this team go through many ups and downs, but this feels like a moment where we can truly solidify our status as contenders. Be honest with me, would you trust a veteran who has been through the wars, or would you rather see the team roll the dice with the current roster? We want to hear from you in the comments because your passion is what drives this team forward. Don't forget to like this video if you want to see our defense become the best in the NFL, and make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update on our Texans. This season is going to be a wild ride.